The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Ardor SEO.
Welcome to Icons of Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Patty Teal. Let me tell you about today's guest, Will Friedner. He's a broker and has been selling real estate with Glacier Sotheby's since 2008. As the founder of Living in Montana YouTube channel and the host of the Montana Real Estate Podcast, he loves to tell stories of what it's like to live in Montana. He also started and manages 4 Montana Facebook real estate groups that now have over 34,000 members. And that might not even be a current number. It's maybe higher now. Welcome, Will.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you on. I always wanted to know more about Montana, so you are the guy to talk to. But first, I'd like to have you share your story, how you ended up in Montana and how you ended up in this successful real estate business. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, we have been here now 21 years. So I'm almost a local. My wife grew up and was actually born and raised here. Her dad was a ranger in Glacier National Park. So we were living down in Southern California, and we had our daughter and didn't want to raise her down there. And so we decided to come back up here where my wife is from. And that's how I ended up here. And it's a great place. And yeah, it's been a good 21 years.
And you must have absolutely fallen in love with the area.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. It's a beautiful, I've lived all over the country, and besides Alaska, there's nothing that even comes close to this valley we live in here in Northwest Montana. So it's pretty amazing.
Well, that sounds wonderful. So I know a lot of people are migrating there, and the secret is out. And I wanted you to address that. I'm sure it's good for business, but is there a downside as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get a lot of the true locals are not a fan of my videos, and they blame me for everyone coming here. And I tell them that I'm honored, but it's not because of me.
Maybe partly.
Ever since Rona hit 2 years ago, it seems like everybody decided they wanted to move up to the mountains, and we were the last kind of undiscovered place. And so, yeah, the last 2 years have been very busy around here, and very annoying to the people that have been here forever.
I can understand that. Yeah. It's always pros and cons to everything. I watched your Montana 101 video, and it was actually hilarious. I got such a kick out of it. Here are some of the points that you brought up. Don't pretend you're a cowboy. You've watched a couple episodes of Yellowstone, but no. So yeah, I moved to Florida from Arizona, and there were a lot of cowboys there too. But it's hard to pretend, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I get that whole video was obviously kind of trying to be funny, and
it was.
But there's a little truth to all of it also.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. And then you called, some people call Bozeman now Los Angeles.
Well, a lot of people call it that. Yeah, it's kind of turned into the Los Angeles version of Montana.
Now, is that an area that you are representing and selling in Bozeman?
No, Bozeman. Well, Montana is a huge state. We're the fourth biggest state in the nation. So I'm actually about probably 7 hours away from Bozeman.
Okay.
So no, but we can get into it later, but with all my Facebook groups and everything, I have agents all over the state that we do referrals to, just because we are so big. So yeah, when we get calls for Bozeman, I have an agent down there that I use.
Oh, that's very cool. So what is the area, the little towns, maybe they're not so little, but what area do you represent?
We pretty much Northwest Montana, all of Northwest Montana, even down to, I guess they call it Southwest. Well, not really South. Anyway, the Bitterroot Valley, which is south of Missoula. And then we're up in the Northwest. We're right next to Glacier National Park.
Ooh.
So you have Whitefish and Kalispell and Columbia Falls and Big Fork and all those towns right in there.
No, it must be beautiful. I'm sure you must have some videos from Glacier National Park on your YouTube channel.
Oh, for sure. And we were just up there the last 2 days. There's a beautiful, spectacularly beautiful part of the park that there's a big lodge. It's called Mini Glacier. And my wife is the queen of getting on the cancellations because it takes, for most people, it's a 2-year waiting list to get in there. But she's really good at checking the site all the time. And we've gone up every year and stayed for a couple nights in this just stunning lodge. And it's a pretty cool place.
Well, her dad was a ranger, so she's on the inside track.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago, but yeah, I guess that helps.
She probably grew up knowing all the secrets. Anyway, you're obviously a master of online marketing because you've grown not only your YouTube channel, but these Facebook groups to enormous numbers. How did you learn to do that? I remember I looked it up this morning doing a little research for this, and I started the first one in March of 2014. And I just did a group called Flathead Valley Homes for Sale or Rent. And it was right when groups came out. And I thought, oh, that's probably a good idea. And I'd always been intrigued with social media. And that was kind of before social media was a big marketing thing. So I started that group. And the first day that I put it out into the world, I got 100 people that joined it just organically. I mean, that was, I think, probably even before Facebook advertising and all of that. And it just kind of took off. And then after a couple months, I was like, well, I can sell real estate all over Montana. Why don't I start groups for the other big towns and areas around Montana? So I did. And then I just added it up this morning. Right now, with all the different groups I have 44,729 people. And another thing I did in those groups that kind of annoys people, but I don't know. I figured I've done the work. It's, I started these groups. So when other realtors try and join, I don't allow that. Like I did all this. It might be fishing for your business.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what they're doing, and which I get. But I've spent a lot of time on this, and I feel like it's my own little lead generation thing that I've built and grown, and they can say everyone's free to start their own groups.
So are most of the groups kind of geographically based then, as you said, different towns, and that's the group is based on that?
Yep. And the other cool thing that in the last couple of years, I don't remember when that started in particular, but they started allowing you to collect email addresses. And as you know, they always say, you're kind of building your business on rented ground on these social media platforms. And so I've been collecting, as it's asked to join. When you join one of my groups, it'll ask for your email, and you don't have to, I don't not let you in if you don't give me your email, but you'd be surprised at how many people do. And so I've probably collected well over 7,000 email addresses since that's been allowed. And then I started another group during the whole Rona thing, a local, it's called the Whitefish Community Group. And that one has almost just under 5,000 people already. And I've gotten a ton of emails for that. And so then what we do is we take all those email addresses and put them on our weekly newsletter that we do for our real estate. So that's how I'm using it to generate leads.
Wow, that's very, very clever, smart. So I'm just curious, the people that join these groups, are they already living there, most of them, or are they people that maybe are interested in a certain area since Montana has gotten so popular?
Well, like the The Flathead Valley Homes for Sale or Rent. Yeah, most of those people live here already. But the Whitefish Community Group, because we're such a destination now, there's a lot of people that don't live here that are joining, that they want to live here. And those are kind of the best ones to have, because those are our future clients.
Yeah. So you mentioned that it's become quite the destination. So are a lot of your home buyers looking for second and third homes, vacation homes, or is it mainly people that want a permanent residence?
Well, in the last couple of years, it's people that want to get out of the big city and move up here. And so it's more of a permanent residence. But yeah, there's a lot of people also that, live somewhere and they want a vacation, a ski, because we have a ski resort here and then a big lake for the summertime. And at the ski resort as well, they have all kinds of summer activities up there. They have zip lines. And so, yeah, we're kind of a year-round destination up here now.
Well, it certainly just looks stunningly beautiful. I also love Colorado, but maybe you're more open land as I'm listening and talking to you. Is there still a lot of undeveloped areas?
There is, yes. And that's why we're kind of, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon now, because there is still, we just went over, like I said, we're the fourth biggest state in the nation. And it was only a few years ago that we went over 1 million people for the whole state. So even after the last 2 years, we're at like 1.1. So we don't have the massive growth and sprawl that you'll see in, like, you go to Denver now and it's ridiculous.
Denver's really changed. I drove through it not long ago. Well, it was a year ago or so, but it's just so different. I used to just love Colorado, and now it's like one big city.
Yep. And we're far from that. I'm sure, unfortunately, everything changes and someday that'll start to happen here, but we're a long way from that. Yeah.
So besides for your Facebook and YouTube channels, are there other ways that you reach out to leads?
The YouTube thing, since that blew up, that's probably 98% of our business. So I've been focusing on that the most. And that's where I get all of my business at this point.
Okay, that makes sense. It's working. So just keep growing it. Yeah. When you put your videos out there, do you go other places besides YouTube, or pretty much stick to YouTube?
Well, that's the funny part, is you talk to, and I'm in a bunch of YouTube real estate groups around the country on Facebook, and there's guys that teach ways to do it, and I'm, they've obviously studied it and done it more than me, but I've always been kind of the guy to do my own thing and figure stuff out myself. And they'll tell you not to put it anywhere else. Or if you do, make it a separate, so it's not the YouTube link, because that screws up algorithms. But I've always posted my videos every week to Twitter and to Facebook, to my Facebook business page. And then, like, the one video I had that went viral, that got, tons and tons of views on Facebook. So, I don't know. It's worked for me. So I'm just doing that. I know there's gurus in every occupation and everybody has their own ideas, and mine kind of go against some of theirs, but it works for me.
If it's working, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
Yep.
So let's see. What was the one about that went viral? I mean, of course, it was about Montana, but what was it?
Well, interestingly enough, I started my channel in May of 2020 was when the first video came out. And I told myself I'd always wanted to do YouTube, but I just never did. But that was right when kind of the height of the Rona thing. And I thought, well, we're all locked up here. I might as well just start making videos now. And I told myself I'd do it for 1 year, do one a week for a year. And, for YouTube, you have to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch time before you can get paid for the advertising.
Would you repeat that? What is that exactly?
It's when you start a channel, those ads that run on everybody's channel now, whether you're monetized or not, once you're monetized, they will pay you.
Right.
or, however many views, or, I don't begin to pretend to know how they figure it out.
Right.
But you have to, within 12 months, you have to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time on your channel.
Okay.
And so I was, like I said, I started in May and I was making videos. And then about July, I started actually getting calls off of my videos. And I'm like, wow, this is working. And some people from LA called me. They had grown up there, never been out of there. And they wanted to get out. They're like, we're so sick of all the lockdowns and the rules, and we have to get out of here. And we want to live way out. We don't want to be near anybody. And I said, have you ever been to Montana? And they said, no. And I said, well, you need to come up here because I don't think you understand.
Try it out first.
Well, if you've never been out of LA, you don't really understand what you're asking. And they're like, okay. So 2 days later, they're in my office. I couldn't believe it. And they had picked out this house that was way out. And I'm like, okay. And so we start driving out there. It's like an hour and a half out of town, way up in the mountains, away, just what they asked for. And so we got within about 10 minutes of the house. We were up halfway up this Forest Service road, and I pulled over. They were following me, and I got out and I walked back to their car, and their eyes were huge. And I said, this is August. What are you guys going to do up here in January? They're like, oh yeah, I know, you're right. Why didn't you say something? And I was like, I did say something. So then they didn't even want to look at the house because they're like, we're never going to buy this way out here.
Yeah.
And so on my hour drive back to the office, I'm like, I should really make a video warning people about why you shouldn't move to Montana, or, kind of along those lines.
Yeah.
And that's the one that blew up. Ironically, why you shouldn't move to Montana went viral.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, because I have a dream of having a mountain home way out. But there was one time when I lived in a home that was pretty far isolated from anywhere else. I called it the house at the end of the road. Actually, it ended up burning down, which is unfortunate. But it's very different, your idea of what it would be like, and actually the inconvenience of, having to buy a week's worth of groceries and just all the things that come along with it, the potholes and nobody keeping up the roads, or internet service. There's just all kinds of things you have to think about.
Yeah. So I made that video. I stood on the side of the road out here in the valley. I made it look like I was way out in the woods, which isn't hard to do here. And I just talked for 10 minutes, and I think it was the perfect storm. I don't want to get into politics, but it was right before the election in 2020. And at the very end of it, I did a little blurb about, if you're going to move up here, everybody just likes to do their own thing and not be told what to do. So if you're going to move up here from a big city, just don't push your big city stuff on other people and you'll get along fine. Well, that turned into, Democrats, Republicans, on, all these people commenting on it, about, California's bad, you name it. Well, that pushed it up in the algorithm, and it got 1 million views in about 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So my dream of making it to 1,000 subscribers kind of happened overnight. Because I was, like I said, right before I put that video out, I had like 600 subscribers, and I was 6 months in, and I thought, well, I'll probably make 1,000 by, 12 months. And then when that hit, there was one day where I got 2,500 subscribers in one day.
Wow.
So it just shot my channel up, and I guess the rest is history.
Yeah. Now, do you make a significant amount of money just from people watching? I know you said that they do pay, but
it's not significant. I mean, it's, it's better than
nothing. But
yeah, it's a decent amount. It's I can't retire off of it yet, but
right. But it's something. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, what does the average house go for in your area?
Well, again, because we've been discovered it right before Rona, the average price in our little town was probably about 380, 400, and now it's close to 1 million.
Really? It's gone up that much?
Yeah.
Wow. And is your little town Whitefish? Is that the one you're in? Okay. Yep. Yeah. And are all the other little towns around there, are they priced similarly?
Well, they're not as high as Whitefish. We're kind of the top town here in the valley just because of the ski resort and the lake and everybody. It's a great town. Not that the other towns aren't, but like Big Fork is another resort town, but they're kind of just a summer town. They're right on Flathead Lake, and this time of year it's just crazy down there. But in the middle of winter, everybody kind of takes off. There's no skiing, and it's pretty quiet down there in the winter. So
right. I forgot to find out what happened to this couple that you scared them away by taking them out too far. Did they ever come back and want to get something?
Yep, they bought
closer?
A place much closer to town.
Oh, good, good. And they're probably very happy, I imagine. They got away from LA. So that's wonderful. Yeah, that is very cool. So you told me about the average prices and the locations. You're doing so well. What are your upcoming goals?
Well, I'm thinking about starting another channel. That's kind of in the works right now. Once my channel I got so busy with all the leads coming in. So it's funny, my wife, she just hates doing video. And I've told her all the time, if she was the face of our channel, we'd have 10 times the subscribers, but she won't do it. So I brought on this other gal that, she's a brand new agent. And so she's been helping out and she'll do the videos with me. And, now I think we're going to start another channel and keep growing this one that I have. And, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. What
will your new channel be about? Also,
I think, what's that?
Also information about Montana or something different?
Yeah. We're still kind of kicking around exactly what we're going to do, but I think it will work. I'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think people probably love your personality, that you're kind of low key and, you're kind of a dry sense of humor. And, so I can see why it got very, very popular. People love the authenticity.
Yeah, I do get that a lot. And it just amazes me that people will watch my videos, to be honest with you.
You're still surprised, huh?
I am. I can't believe it, but whatever. I mean, I know it drives my daughter nuts. I like to tease her. She's in college now. And it just, whenever I joke and tell her that I'm a YouTube influencer, she's like, Dad, stop.
That's just hilarious. I've got adult kids. I understand what that would be like for them. Like, oh my God. It's very, very funny. Now, do you answer comments that you get and questions? You keep it very interactive?
I try. The one, when that one went viral, some people are, as the anonymity of the internet, people like to sit in their mom's basement and be bullies. And
sure.
So when that one video took off, I had to change the settings to that I have to approve all the comments before they go on. And I'll answer a lot, but like that one, that probably has 5,000 comments. And I did not answer all of them.
Just generally, do you answer comments? Yes. Make it.
I try to, because of the algorithm, like the first couple days, I'll try and answer everybody that comes in, because that helps with the algorithm, because it's showing YouTube that people are interested and they're interacting with the video. So they push it out more. And then the other thing I found too lately that has been crazy is now, and I didn't even realize this, I realized it, but I didn't even think about it. But Google owns YouTube, right?
Right.
And now on Google, like on your iPhone and on your iPad, Google has a news feed, and it's kind of a local news feed to wherever you are or whatever you like. It's like everything, they push what you like. Well, the last few videos I've done, because of my keywords and how I've done it, they've been picked up by that. And I had a video just a couple weeks ago that got 80,000 views in the first week because it got on that Google thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you think it's because of the keywords that you
oh, for sure. 1,000%. And that's where I get into it with these people that are, a lot of these other YouTube people are all about the thumbnail. And I just keep saying it's the title. I mean, Google looks for the title and the keywords, and the thumbnail, it doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, but so many people get so wrapped up and they'll spend
Sure.
a whole day designing a thumbnail and nobody cares. I mean, if you think about it, they're not
Right,
going to
right.
click on it because of your picture. They're going to click on it because they want to know whatever they want to know.
Yeah. Do you try to keep those titles short too?
Yeah. And I've been trying to do, like, uh, I don't want to say clickbait because that sounds bad, but you
Yeah.
want it to be intriguing and give someone a reason to click it. So I did one a few weeks ago called Montana's Most Beautiful City question mark, and
Oh,
everyone's like, oh, I
mm-hmm.
wonder what that is.
Yeah,
And that one
yeah.
did very well. And then, so I try and do titles that, again, I don't want to say clickbait, but titles that make people want to click.
Yeah. So, how many houses do you generally have for sale in an area like yours?
Well, again, because our demand is so high, our inventory is extremely low because of the interest rates and everything. And as you know, everywhere around the country is slowing down a little bit now, as are we, but there's still so much demand here. Our inventory has gone up, but it's nothing like, it was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So, you have noticed a big change in the market as everybody else seems to be having the last couple of months, would you say?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Because last year at this time, you could throw a house on the market and pretty much ask for whatever you wanted and you'd get
Mm-hmm.
10 offers on it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the buyers were kind of in a standoff where the sellers are still thinking, well, my neighbor got $1 million for his house last year. Mine's worth at least that. And
Right.
the buyers are saying, well, sorry, I don't
Mm-hmm.
have the buying power anymore because of the interest rates and I'm not going to pay that. And so, it's not yet a buyer's market, but it's definitely not a seller's market either. So,
Would you say it's a balanced market?
um, I would still say it's a seller's market, but they need to be more realistic with their pricing.
Okay.
They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
win the lottery like they were last year and get ridiculous amounts of money.
Do you have any tips for somebody, you've given some of them, who is thinking of expanding to doing Facebook groups and YouTube? Does it take a lot of time?
Yeah, well, it doesn't take a lot of time to actually set the things up. YouTube, obviously, the videos take time, but the Facebook groups, it's a long game. It's not gonna happen overnight. Like I said, the one I started in 2014, so that's almost 8 years ago already. And
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, you just need to be patient. And if you're thinking this is a get rich quick scheme, it's not, because what a lot of people will run into at this point is that other people have started these groups, but then they probably just gave up on it because
Sure. Yeah.
they didn't grow it very
Mm-hmm.
quickly. As far as YouTube, again, it does take time, and a lot of people get scared off by the camera thing. And um, I guess it's not for everybody, but I tell you what, I wish I would have done it 10 years ago now. I mean, it's the
Wow.
greatest thing. I get 3 emails or calls every day because of those videos.
Wow. That's wonderful. And I
Yeah.
think too, you're not salesy. And so that probably really attracts people. Instead,
Yep.
you're sharing information and you're the expert.
Well, and that's the beauty too that I love, because I'm not the cold call guy. I'm not the door knocking guy. Never have been. I never will do that. So I've always been looking for ways to generate leads without doing that. And this obviously hit. And the beauty of it is that the reason why everybody should do it is when someone calls you, they're
Mm-hmm.
already your client. They feel like they know you. They feel like,
Oh.
oh, they're your friend. And
Mm-hmm.
and again, like I said, I can't believe people watch my videos, but they do. And they call up and they're like, oh, the last weekend I watched all your videos. And I'm thinking, Kai, you need to get a hobby.
You are funny. Oh, that's great. But, if you're interested in Montana, uh, what a great thing to go visit and watch the beautiful scenery and listen to you.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, I guess the one piece of advice that if you're on the fence about doing it is just go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people get hung up with, oh, I got to buy all this equipment. And that video that I made that went viral, I had my iPhone and a $20 tripod from Amazon and a lapel mic for $20. That was the extent of my equipment.
Yeah. Well, it seems more authentic to people and than the really slick videos that are produced by some multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, gosh, it's been so fun to get your tips on online marketing, YouTube, Facebook. I really appreciate it. And wow, Montana is so gorgeous. Just in case they missed it, would you give the name of your YouTube channel and how people would reach you?
Yeah, it's called Living in Montana. So you just type in Living in Montana and it'll pop up on YouTube. And then we have all our contact information on any of those videos. But if you want to email, my email is montanaliferealty@gmail.com.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on Icons of Real Estate. It was wonderful.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you.